Ahmedabad, this hustling and bustling city in the state of Gujarat, recently got bestowed with the tag of India's first World Heritage City. What is it about this city that got the UNESCO interested? Well, Ahmedabadis may have moved over to eating barbecues and weekend visits to malls in the more developed western part, but they certainly don't miss eating at the Manik Chowk and visits to the famous flower markets during festives. That's why it's a living heritage. It has not lost its essence and values despite being modern. One such unique heritage are the poles. These are traditional gated homes which have common courtyards, clustered pathways, and experience of community living. In one such pole located is the French Haveli, which is an over 150-year-old boutique heritage home. The Haveli was traditionally home to a Jain family. It was run as an arts gallery between 2006 and 2012, after which it was bought by its current owner, Mr. Rajiv Patel. He decided to name it French Haveli as a tribute to the French architects who worked on the revitalization project of this walled city. The Haveli was artistically restored to suit a bed and breakfast model. It has 5 rooms called Ordo, Chabutro meaning a bird feeder, Malo, a bird's nest, the Mahajan suite, and Agashi. Rajiv is a real estate businessman based in Ahmedabad. He is involved in various heritage revitalization projects in the old city and is the director of City Heritage Center, an NGO with a mission to preserve, sustain, and promote architectural and cultural heritage. The Heritage Walk commissioned by the Municipal Corporation was an eye-opener for him, which caught his interest in the heritage preservation movement. Later, he along with his business partners bought the Diwanjini Haveli, which now serves as a cultural center for all their heritage-related activities in the old city. We asked Rajiv what made him do that.
So we had 3-4 important points in this whole journey. One was the decision. One was the decision of buying the Haveli, which was a very spontaneous. We did a heritage walk. We met Devashish Nayak, and then Devashish Nayak had inspired us to buy this property. So that was one. That vision of making it a cultural center, how we got the vision by going to Spain and all those things are there. So that vision got impacted by going to Spain, and also the restoration cost was 5 times, 6 times the cost of the property cost. So we bought the property 50 lakh rupees, but then 2.53 crores of investment in restoration, that required a lot of conviction. You can't do things when there is no profit. So that decision making was there, and then we did that also.
The restoration process of the French Haveli put across major challenges for the team. The first being adaptive reuse of the property to maintain a balance between its heritage value and contemporary use. They sensitively restored the property to include proper sanitation by introducing 6 toilets, maintained the chalk, which is an essential feature of all the Havelis, and retained the tanka, a rainwater harvesting tank. The second challenge was to gather a team of skilled artisans and heritage professionals who can work on the restoration. And lastly, to make it into a self-sustaining model which can generate a good return on the large investment it demanded. Overcoming all odds, the team was able to successfully revive the Haveli for use as a heritage homestay. Still, there remain some issues which need to be worked on. The French Haveli is located deep within the narrow lanes of poles and therefore remains isolated from the outer city. Cleanliness in the surroundings is also a problem. This is being resolved by community partnerships by developing a cattle trap program to obstruct animals from littering the area. Another issue is lack of awareness above the poles due to the urban rush, which leaves developments in these areas to remain neglected. One possible solution is to organize more cultural and artistic events based around heritage festivals near these poles to attract more people and remind them of their rich heritage. The goal being the upliftment of the area through empowerment of local art, which will ultimately lead enthusiasts to explore the Havelis. Also, a major deterrent in doing heritage projects is the question of its financial viability. But given how the unique case of French Haveli has fared over the years, investors can be well assured of the prospects it offers with innovative revenue generation streams, like the roof of French Haveli, which gets bid as high as 1 lakh rupees during Festival of Uttarayan. The emerging drive of heritage revitalization projects coming up in the old city requires more attention from the government by offering tax incentives to heritage entrepreneurs, as explained by Rajiv.
The way we have invested in these 10 Havelis, say 10 crores have been invested. So how about this happening 100 times? That means 1,000 crores have to be invested. 100 people like me buying Havelis worth 2-3 crores. And all these 2,000 listed properties which have the TDR, they get restored and that TDR being used for those people to live, and then the government investing in the infrastructure and parking solutions and special vehicle zones and neatness and cleanliness and making the old city a place to visit like it is happening in the Europe. That has to be the way forward. But there are a lot of policy gaps right now. There has to be a balance of top down and so there is a big gap in the top down approach. There is a World Heritage Tag, everything happened because of the enthusiasm of locals. So if the government decides that anybody wants to buy Haveli, we will facilitate. You invest in old city, we'll give you tax break, we'll give you this, then it will change. So that is the level at which now work has to happen.
In an increasingly urbanized world, if we stop and look at our past, our own heritage offers interesting opportunities, and initiatives like the French Haveli serve as an inspiration for other people to join the drive for a heritage revival.